Traditionally, lifting has been the definitive strength test. In fact, since the Middle Ages, troubadours and showmen have travelled throughout Europe performing great feats of strength. Dumbbells and barbells of various shapes, sizes and design were used for these challenges. And such champions as Professor Attila became really famous and set the lifting wheels into motion by passing on their skills to pupils. For instance, Attila taught Sandow, another famous lifter, who in turn gave the benefit of his knowledge to my namesake, W.L. Travis. And if you look at what Mr. Travis is doing there, you would probably quite rightly imagine that I must be descended from him, because I do daft things like that too. Well, gradually, weightlifting moved out of the circus and stage to become better known as a new sport. And as we can see in this 1904 print, it was getting really organized. As better equipment was developed, the old globes became collectors and museum pieces. And they've been gathering dust until now, when the Britain's Strongest Man team have removed them from their resting places, inserted the right amount of lead shot in preparation for event number 5, the barbell lift. John Sedge, first of all, lifting the 90 pounds, and you can see elbow rather well strapped up. And a struggle for John to get a good lift on 90. Well, that's in fact as far as John got with 90, because we move along now to the 150 weight, which Andy Drzewiecki is now going to jerk up above his head.
Got it. Being an Olympic weightlifter, Andy has a super technique, utilising this to its fullest and making 150 pounds easy.
Well, he's pleased with himself. And look, Daley Thompson's popped along to the pier to have a look at the action and perhaps pick up a few tips. Will he get some tips from Sulby Prince, the power lifter? He goes for 150. Bit of concentration.
No lift.
Oh, what are you talking about? It's on my
Bars
shoulder.
on your shoulder, that's no lift.
Oh dear.
I've been doing that all the way through.
Few problems for Sulby there.
Got 30 seconds left. Put it on one shoulder.
I think perhaps with the right arm he meant that it should be on the right shoulder, and he was using the left shoulder there. But he goes again.
There we have Sulby getting angry with Oscar, the referee, because he wasn't sure what was wrong with his lift, and Oscar told him he was using both shoulders in front of, instead of the one-handed snatch which is required in this event.
Edgeways on. That's an interesting and new method. Nobody's attempted to do it that way before. Peter is a good boy. He's trying to get underneath it. It's not easy.
Come on, lower.
He's got to get full marks for trying something different.
Lower, get down.
That's going to go... He's now got to get his hand back in the centre. He can't possibly lift it from that angle. I mean, he can't hope to. No, Peter, a look of slight despair on his face.
20 seconds left.
Well, I think, David, he's intending to have another go. He's intending to have another go. He's getting really aggressive.
Oh, he is getting a... Oh, he is going to snatch this thing. He's getting really annoyed. Oh, I don't think he quite made it. He really was aggressive. It was quite ridiculous. There was a distinct sort of sway, one way with the head and arms, and a different way with the legs. Were you aware of that as you did that, Paul?
I was aware of it, but I think there was a strong gust of wind at the time, so I think that was more or less what put me off there.
You are serious?
Very serious, yes.
Oh, good.
The bar now at 170 pounds.
Well, let me tell you that Davidson and Slaney also did well at the 150, and now, as you see, into the 170. Drzewiecki. A lot of concentration. His face. One happy man. And that's a big weight. These boys really enjoying the competition. But as much fun as it looks, they do take it very, very seriously. Sulby Prince for you now at 170.
Sulby Prince now getting very aggressive, typical of a weightlifter in the powerlifting circles.
So here we go.
Right.
Happy because he's making up for the fact that he didn't do too well in the bar bend and making light of that weight at 170, Sulby Prince. Next up, it'll be Davidson.
Now making his attempt at 170 pounds, Hamish Davidson, holder of many Scottish powerlifting records, and in fact one of the all-time great Scottish power athletes.
So Hamish Davidson now, not a man to give up in any form of competition easily. Up she goes. No problem there. There was a lack of strain on Hamish's face when he walks away. I don't understand it at all.
Slaney with 170 pounds.
Out of all the athletes in this event, he is the least suited, being 6'7" tall and twice as many levers as anybody else, and there he makes a good effort and in fact does the lift quite easily.
There's a sort of dead air about that, isn't there, at the end? Well, Drzewiecki, Prince, Davidson, Slaney, as you can see, the top four have all got 170 pounds, which means we must find a positive winner. How do we do that? Well, we do it quite easily with the repetition lift. A 130-pound weight will be lifted by the competitors as many times as they possibly can, literally until they drop. Well, we can tell you that Richard Slaney beat Hamish Davidson by 1. He managed to get 25 lifts.
Second good lift.
Now let's see how Andy Drzewiecki can do.
Good lift. Good lift.
We're not at all sure about the strength of this pier now. It is an old one after all.
And Andy coming up to his 21st lift, looking somewhat worse for wear, but being the competitor he is, I'm sure he'll go a lot further yet.
Yes, I'm sure he will as well, because he's got 25 to beat yet from Richard Slaney.
22.
There's 22. The pier taking a heck of a hammering at the moment, every time that weight drops down there. And to remind you, that's 130 pounds that's being thrown up and down. Sulby Prince there waiting patiently. He's next on.
35.
Well, as you can see, Richard Slaney's total has well been passed now at 35.
36.
And there we have a total of 36 for Andy,
36.
setting an unbelievable target for Sulby Prince.
Well, we knew Sulby was going to be a hot competitor when it came to any strength events, and here he is coming up to number 30.
30.
Sulby, lacking in finesse,
31.
making up with brute strength.
32.
Andy's
30.
done 36. Andy Drzewiecki's at 36, so we've got Sulby doing now 4 to beat, and he knows
34.
he's going to town now.
35.
I mean, that ankle's got
36.
36, that equals it. That equaled Andy Drzewiecki's record, so we're going to go one more. Are we going to have one more out of Sulby?
37.
There we go, one past Andy.
38.
Okay, well now, of course, as you can tell, he'd like to get 50. He's well ahead, but he's just going all out. He's giving it everything he possibly can.
41.
And that's 41 for Sulby. He's doing remarkably well, as he's got a bad injury to his ankle. In fact, he's using one of my shoes, size 13, because of the amount of bandage he's got strapped round it.
45.
45 just about does it. And there, from sheer exhaustion, Sulby Prince goes down. And the doctor, who earlier on was patting him on the stomach in a friendly manner, of course, means business. He's here, he knows all about how to look after these lads. And Sulby Prince is about to get his wind back now, after a great attempt. So after the barbell lifting then, Sulby Prince into first place gets the 8 points with a magnificent 45 lifts. Andy Drzewiecki with 36. Richard Slaney stopped after 25, knowing that he just had to beat Hamish there, who was in with 1 point behind him at 24.